Oh, it's nice to be back. So I took a little break for a while. Started using the optimizers. I caved. And I gotta tell you, I hated every minute of it. It's not fun to not pick your lineups. There was moderate success, but not enough success to convince me to stick around. I miss doing it this way. So let us do it this way. Chargers, Raiders, a lot of bloody money on the line. Let's try and get our hands on it. Doing it the way we always love to do it, by making lineups the old fashioned way. Looking at 20 captains. Just way too many fucking injuries this year. There's absolutely no reason to base any history on any of these fucking games because none of these guys are fucking playing. Fucking, they gotta stop. They gotta start putting a cap on the quarterback position. All these guys are fucking injured. Who's playing in this fucking game? Down. La, da, 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 dee, 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 da, dee, da. Jacoby Myers, Joshua Kelly, Joshua Palmer. Hey, he's playing again. I think I have some Keenan Allen in my best balls. That's about it. It's the only guy, and maybe some Mike Mayer. Everybody else was either benched or fucking injured, not playing anymore. Got 20 lineups in the best ball tournament going for that million. It's a lot of Lions and 49ers, oddly enough. No more Jimmy Garoppolo. So Quentin Johnston. Do some variants, some $1 variants, some $3 variants. This is for 100 grand, this fucking game. So we're going after it. The Q tag only invites us in more. Just miss making lineups. He realizes that I'm not really sure if it's a better thing to do it or if. I mean, look, you want to let AI pick your lineups. That's kind of cool. I'm just not into it. I did it. I said, let me do this for a couple of months because I'm getting my ass kicked in fantasy. Getting sick of being in first place for like 10 minutes and then I'm not. You know what I found was that even when I do it with the optimizers, I'm in first place for the first few quarters and then we can't hold it. I cannot hold the fucking leads. Finished eighth place in both those fucking tournaments the other day. In this game, the play action game, I picked the lineups and finished in eighth place. In the mini max 150 lineups, they picked the fucking lineups and I still finished in eighth place. Sometimes you got to do it your way. One must trust in their own system or it will betray them. So no more systems, no more anything. Just trying to find some context clues inside of these reports. And then try to run variants of alternate receivers, alternate running backs. Hunter Renfro won me 10 grand in the captain's position one time. Can he do it again? So that would be 20 captains. Who is the 20th possible captain? Isaiah Spiller. All right, so we know captains, potential captains, stop at Spiller. All right. Let's move this over here. Remember, brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. Texas has a whorehouse in it. Lord have mercy on our soul. Texas has a whorehouse in it. All right. We got Chargers. We got Raiders. Let's see who pops the fuck up. It's nice to be back. Promoting Kickstarters, making fucking lineups, doing some damage. Why is this empty? Did I jump one by accident? I did. All right. So it looks like we have one more captain besides Spiller. So the 20th captain isn't Spiller. Spiller is 19. 20th captain is tight end Mike Mayer. Should he keep his job? All right, let's get started here. Right up top. The Chargers announced that Herbert will undergo surgery Tuesday to repair a fracture to his right index finger and has been placed on injured reserve. Confirming what Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network and others reported minutes earlier, Herbert will miss the rest of the season after having surgery to address the injury he suffered in the second quarter of this past Sunday's loss to the Broncos. Herbert should be back to full health by the start of OTAs in the spring. That'll wrap up his fourth season in Los Angeles with a 65% completion rate for 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, to go with 52 carries for 228 yards, and 3 more scores over his 13 appearances. Easton Stick will take over as the Chargers' starting quarterback beginning with Thursday's game in Las Vegas. Max Duggan, a 2023 7th-round pick out of TCU, is likely to be promoted from the practice squad to back up Stick. Easton Stick, with a mention of Max Duggan. Davante Adams caught 7 of 10 targets for 53 yards in Sunday's loss to the Vikings. The Raiders' offense couldn't get anything going in the NFL's lowest scoring game since 2007. But Adams still saw a solid target volume and was the team's leading receiver. He's seen double-digit targets in each of his last 4 games, but Sunday's yardage was his lowest output in that stretch. Adams will look to take advantage of a good Week 15 matchup against the Chargers, who he posted an 875 line against on 13 targets in their first meeting this season. Well. Vanty. Austin Ekeler carried the ball 10 times for 51 yards and a touchdown in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. He also caught 5 of his 7 targets for 49 yards. Despite quoted comments from head coach Brandon Staley earlier in the week that left some speculating Ekeler would cede touches to Joshua Kelly and Isaiah Spiller, the multifaceted back saw his usual workload while the aforementioned backups combined for 9 carries and 25 yards. It's unclear if that's because the Chargers trailed from the jump and were put in an even more difficult situation after Justin Herbert left the game in the second quarter with an injury to a finger on his throwing hand, or if it was by design. The end result is hardly surprising given the career credentials of Kelly and Spiller. Herbert's status could certainly affect Ekeler's upside come Thursday's Week 15 contest against the Raiders, but backup quarterback Easton Stick could also rely heavily on the pass-catching running back should Herbert sit out, making the Pro Bowl back likely a solid fantasy play regardless. So it was a bluff. He's still playing hardcore. Mention of Easton Stick. Credentials of Kelly and Spiller. Joshua Kelly on the board. Isaiah Spiller on the board. If they're mentioned, they're relevant. There is no logic in these fucking games. There is only somebody who you're not expecting to pop off, popping the fuck off. Keenan Allen was listed as a non-participant for Tuesday's walkthrough practice. Following Sunday's loss to the Broncos, the Chargers didn't hold on any field work on Monday. But Allen was nonetheless estimated as a non-participant while he manages the heel issue. Chargers held only a light walkthrough session Tuesday, but Allen once again remained a spectator. He'll have one more opportunity to make some practice reps this week before the Chargers potentially hand him a designation for Thursday's game against the Raiders. Even if Allen is able to play Thursday while facing no restrictions with his snap count, his fantasy stock has undoubtedly taken a hit moving forward after Justin Herbert was placed on injured reserve Tuesday with a season-ending injury. Easton Stick, who's made just 2 appearances in his 5-year professional career, will step in as the Chargers' starting quarterback beginning with Thursday's game. It's 3 for the Stick. The Stick is the story. Boy, he's the man on the stickiest. Josh Jacobs was listed as a limited participant on Tuesday's estimated practice report. The Raiders conducted walkthrough sessions Monday and Tuesday to begin Week 15 prep. But Jacobs would have had his reps managed had the team held traditional practices due to a quad issue. Las Vegas will release its final injury report, and if Jacobs is once again a limited participant, he could end up taking a questionable designation into Thursday's game against the Chargers. Jacobs exited this past Sunday's loss to the Vikings in the fourth quarter of what was time deemed a knee injury and finished the day with 13 carries for 34 yards and 2 receptions for 16 yards. Not very exciting. Quarterback Aidan O'Connell completed 21 of 32 passes for 171 yards with an interception in Sunday's loss to the Vikings. In the NFL's lowest scoring game since 2007, O'Connell struggled to get the Raiders past midfield most of the afternoon, and the team's one trip to the red zone ended on a Hunter Renfrow fumble. It's the first time since week 9 that the rookie quarterback has failed to throw a touchdown. But O'Connell's 3-5 touchdown interception ratio since taking over as Las Vegas starter illustrates his struggles. The Raiders' passing game gets a better matchup in week 15 against the Chargers. Hunter Renfrow is on the board. And we go down to the bottom from our way from Britton Brown all the way up to Easton Stick. Gotta find a sleeper at the end of the road. Jesper. Well, oh shit, that did Jesper Horsted. This guy had one good fucking game. One game where he was a slate breaker. Stone Smart is inactive against the Broncos. Smart will be the odd man out at tight end for the Chargers after appearing in all 12 games for the team this season. The team will opt to dress Nick Vanette and Steven Anderson as their number 3 and number 4 tight ends behind Gerald Everett and Donald Parham, respectively. That's a lot of shitty tight ends that just got mentioned. Nick Vanette, Steven Anderson, Gerald Everett, and Donald Parham. Remember, these fucking tight ends are the ones that kill your fucking slates because they're the ones that are in the end zone. One catch that ends up being a touchdown. That's all you fucking need. So Stone Smart's done. Nick Vanette has no injury designation ahead of Sunday's game against the Broncos. Vanette was able to log practice sessions both Thursday and Friday after limited work Wednesday, and it now seems as if he's had enough time to move past his concussion. The 30-year-old has appeared in only 3 games for Los Angeles this season, and he'll likely serve as the team's number 4 tight end in Week 14. Get the fuck out of here. However, Mr. Anderson reverted to the Chargers practice squad Monday. Anderson was called up to the active roster for the second straight game. He played 20 snaps, 18 on special teams, 2 on offense without recording a stat. Anderson can be elevated by the Chargers once more this season, for the team would have to sign him to the active roster. It's not doing much for me there. DJ Turner, old news from November. Nothing on Keelan Doss. Nothing on Kenny Wilkerson. Hunter Kampmoyer. News from November. We want December news. Where was that? See following in. Terrell Bynum, old news. Kenneth Cole makes good shoes. Jarrett Patterson. Scott McCormick. Jacob Johnson reverted to the practice squad. Johnson saw playing time on both offense and special teams in Sunday's loss to the Vikings, and he managed to record a tackle while in punt coverage. The 28-year-old is still eligible to be elevated 2 more times this season. DeAndre Carter, old news. Elijah Dotson. Fuck it. The Chargers signed Dotson to their practice squad Tuesday. Dotson will stick around with the Chargers after being waived from the active roster Saturday. The 24-year-old carried the ball 4 times for 6 yards in 4 games played this season and will now wait for an opportunity to be elevated off the practice squad. He sucks. Brandon Bolden. Simi Fehoko. Again, this guy fucking did good in one game this year, right there. Went in the end zone one game, fucked up a slate, did nothing after that. Simi Fehoko signed with the Chargers practice squad Thursday. Fehoko has appeared in 6 games this season, but after being a healthy scratch for Week 13 against the Patriots, the Stanford product was waived Tuesday. He'll now return to the Chargers organization as a member of the practice squad, while he'll work to make his way back to the roster. Fuck off. Darius Davis. Again, old fucking news. They got nothing on this kid. He hasn't done shit in 2 weeks. Make him dangerous. Austin Mott the Hoople. Caught his only target for 5 yards in Sunday's loss to the Vikings. Coming off the Raiders' Week 13 bye, Hopper logged just 20 offensive snaps to rookie Mike Mayer's 51, confirming the latter is likely to retain his hold on the number 1 tight end role through the remainder of the regular season. Hopper's involvement figures to take a backseat to Mayer's development again Thursday versus the Chargers. Oh, God, you know what a dick I am? All these tight ends are on the wrong side. Bennett, Anderson, Everett, Parham. Let's get rid of Bennett and put in Mike Mayer. Bam. The development of Mike Mayer. Alex Erickson brought in 1 of 7 targets for 9 yards against the Broncos in Sunday's loss. With injury issues plaguing the Chargers' receiving corps, Erickson has seen an increased involvement in the offense but has failed to record a game with more than 1 reception in his 4 appearances this season. The eye-popping target figure was matched by an equally shocking inefficiency, and it's not like the 31-year-old was targeted all that often deep, save for a shot early in the first half with Justin Herbert still healthy. Wide receiver Joshua Palmer could return to action this week, which would relegate Erickson further down the depth chart, and the offense as a whole looks far less enticing with Herbert now done for the season. Shit. Joshua Palmer on the board. Trey Tucker, old news. The last time this guy was relevant. He's got a couple of decent showings. 7 targets in that game against Miami. Jalen Guyton brought in his sole target for 8 yards in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. Guyton saw a season low in offensive snaps at only 21, which was less than half of both rookie receiver Quentin Johnston and veteran castoff Alex Erickson. Additionally, with Joshua Palmer trending toward a return this week and quarterback Justin Herbert now out for the year, Guyton will likely see an even smaller role on an already struggling offensive team. Son of a bitch. So let's 1 more for Palmer. Erickson and Johnston. Oh, shit. Donald Parham Jr., limited participant on Tuesday's practice estimate. Parham's participation is strictly an estimate as the team held a walkthrough practice in preparation for Thursday's matchup against the Raiders. Chargers will likely hold a more formal practice Wednesday, which Parham's status could provide a better clue to his availability to play in the Week 15 matchup. Zamir White rushed twice for 8 yards in Sunday's loss to the Vikings. White logged only 5 offensive snaps despite starter Josh Jacobs exiting Sunday's contest in the 4th quarter with a knee injury, while fellow running back Amir Abdullah gained 19 yards on 3 touches across 15 snaps. If Jacobs is unable to suit up Thursday against the Chargers due to the aforementioned knee issue, however, White could be the next in line to handle early down work out of the backfield, with Abdullah providing relief in passing situations. So we have here Josh Jacobs on the board and Amir Abdullah on the board. Which brings us to potential captains. Mike Mayer caught 1 pass for 14 yards on 2 targets in Sunday's loss to the Vikings. Mayer played 51 of a possible 54 offensive snaps for the Raiders on Sunday, but the rookie tight end earned just 2 targets on 32 pass attempts from quarterback Aiden O'Connell. Nonetheless, Mayer remains the clear tight end 1 in Las Vegas ahead of a Thursday night football matchup against the Chargers in Week 15. Aiden O'Connell is on the board. Isaiah Spiller. 6 carries for 19 yards in Sunday's defeat to the Broncos. Spiller had a season high in rushing yards and attempts and outsnapped second string running back Joshua Kelly by 5. Considering the 22-year-old has only played in 6 games to date, it's unclear if the additional workload will be permanent moving forward or just a 1-week oddity. With Justin Herbert done for the season, the Chargers could experiment with the backfield in a variety of ways. But it seems unlikely Spiller will outright displace starting running back Austin Ekeler in the coming weeks. It's 2 for Kelly. And Ekeler is on the board. Ugh. Hunter Renfrow caught 3 of 5 targets for 46 yards in Sunday's loss to the Vikings. The veteran slot receiver finished second on the Raiders in receiving yards, but Renfrow also may have cost his team the game. On Las Vegas' first possession of the second half, he caught a receiver screen and fumbled the ball after a big hit, ending the Raiders' only trip into the red zone. Renfrow has seen a more consistent role in the game plan since Josh McDaniels was fired, but he has still yet to catch a touchdown or reach 50 yards in a game heading into a Week 15 clash with the Raiders. Chargers. Renfrow, he's dangerous. Raiders D. Laid 12 on the Vikings, huh? They put up fucking points, the Raiders D. As for the Chargers, well, against New England. Interesting. Daniel Carlson did not attempt a kick in Sunday's loss to the Vikings. Carlson managed to suit up Sunday despite dealing with an illness that impacted his practice participation earlier in the week. But he wasn't given the chance to attempt a single kick against his former team as the stout Vikings defense stymied the Raiders' offense. An easier matchup awaits against the Chargers on Thursday Night Football, Week 15. That is it. Amir Abdullah rushed once for 12 yards and caught both of his targets for 7 yards in Sunday's loss to the Vikings. Abdullah's first 2 touches didn't come until less than a minute remaining in the first half, though he's now up to 14 receptions for the first 13 games of the season. Starting running back Josh Jacobs exited Sunday's contest in the fourth quarter due to a seemingly minor knee injury, but Abdullah could see his snap share increase Thursday against the Chargers if Jacobs is limited or unable to play on a quick turnaround. Fellow reserves Zamir White and Brandon Bolden could factor into the backfield equation as well. For Jacobs, Zamir White is on the board. Brandon Bolden. Interesting. Brandon Bolden. On reserve if Jacobs doesn't play. Something to think about. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, made his sole extra point attempt in Sunday's defeat against the Broncos. Chargers' inability to put together meaningful offensive drives handicapped Dicker, as Sunday was his first outing of the year without a field goal attempt. The 23-year-old is still 19 for 20 on the season with his sole miss a 53-yarder in Week 3. But with Justin Herbert done for the season, it's hard to imagine the offense somehow looking more effective in the weeks to come. Since Herbert just tanks the fucking whole team, huh? Gerald Everett was listed as a limited participant in Tuesday's walkthrough practice. Everett has been gauged as a limited participant on both of the Chargers' first Week 2 Week 15 practice reports, after he played 45 snaps and hauled in 5 of 8 targets for 38 yards in this past Sunday's 24-7 loss to the Broncos. Though he'll be facing a quick turnaround with the Chargers set to face the Raiders on Thursday, Everett will most likely be able to play through the hip issue, provided he doesn't experience any setbacks leading up to the contest. However, Everett will be on the receiving end of passes moving forward from Easton Stick, who is set to make his first career start Thursday after the Chargers placed the franchise signal caller Justin Herbert on injured reserve Tuesday. 4 for the stick. Play through the hip issue. Is he reliable? Quentin Johnston caught 3 of his 4 targets for 91 yards in the loss to the Broncos on Sunday. It's been a dismal season for the Chargers and for the 2024 first-round pick, but quietly Johnston is maybe turning things around with his second consecutive game of 50-plus yards. A beautiful fourth-quarter 57-yard bomb in stride accounted for the majority of the wideout's yardage in a game in which Los Angeles trailed from the jump. But it's hard to discount the catch given Johnston has failed to make those kind of plays at various points this season. Quarterback Justin Herbert sustained an injury to a finger on his throwing hand, which could set the stage for Easton Stick to play Thursday to kick off the Week 15 slate. So Stick. So did Johnston do all this before? For 4 targets. 57-yard bomb. There you go. They should be trailing, right? Easton Stick. All right. We like Johnston. Max Duggan signed with the Chargers 53-man roster Tuesday. Duggan will move up the team's depth chart at quarterback with Justin Herbert placed on injured reserve Tuesday. His move to the active roster should cement him as the team's number 2 man on the depth chart behind Easton Stick, who will now take over the starting job in Herbert's absence. Boy, this guy played once this year, right? Yeah, it wasn't good. Jimmy Garoppolo, the world's most highest paid backup quarterback. Joshua Palmer, reinstated from injured reserve Tuesday. Palmer had missed the Chargers' last 6 games, but after turning in 3 limited practices last week and then being estimated as a full participant on Monday's practice report, he looks set to return to the lineup Thursday against the Raiders, and he's been restored from IR. In his last 5 appearances for Los Angeles before landing on IR with a right knee sprain, Palmer made a fantasy splash with 19 catches for 360 yards and a touchdown over that stretch. But he can struggle to replicate that production down the stretch. The Chargers placed franchise signal caller Justin Herbert on IR Tuesday after he suffered a season-ending injury in Week 14. So Palmer will now be on the receiving end of passes from relatively unproven fifth-year quarterback Easton Stick, who will make his first career start Thursday. Fantasy splash. He could struggle to replicate that production down the stretch. Interesting. The Stick has 6 mentions. Everyone's talking about the Stick. Joshua Kelly rushed 3 times for 6 yards in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. It appears as if Kelly wasn't the primary beneficiary of head coach Brandon Staley's comments regarding a competition for carries, as the 4th-year back saw just 3 carries in the loss. Nominal third-string running back Isaiah Spiller saw 5 more offensive snaps and parlayed that into 6 carries for 19 yards. The 26-year-old has not posted a game with 20 or more rushing yards since Week 8, and with Staley's unpredictable scheme at this point in the season, Kelly's fantasy value borders on the reserve status so long as running back Austin Ekeler stays healthy. 2 for the Spiller, 2 for the Eke. When you call Ish, and then you need call Ish. You got some trouble? It works itself out. Jacoby Myers caught 5 of 6 targets for 25 yards in Sunday's loss to the Vikings. The Raiders' offense came out of the team's bye week in a complete funk, but Myers was still able to haul in at least 4 passes for the 3rd straight game. Although his grabs didn't produce much yardage, the 50-year wideout hasn't seen double-digit targets since Week 7, but he'll look to break out in Week 15 against the Chargers. And finally, the man of the hour. Easton Stick will step in as the Chargers' starting quarterback beginning Thursday against the Raiders with Justin Herbert set to undergo season-ending surgery Tuesday. Stick played his first snaps of the season Sunday after Herbert fractured his right index finger late in the 2nd quarter. Though he's in his 5th season with the Chargers, Stick has been limited to just 2 career appearances while Herbert and Phillip Rivers before him have been paragons of durability. Stick has completed just 14 of 25 pass attempts for 183 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions over his 38 career regular season snaps, making him somewhat of an unknown commodity heading into the final 4 games of the regular season. During a larger sample of action in 3 games this past preseason, Stick completed 44 of 73 passes for a paltry 5.2 yards per attempt and a 1-to-2 touchdown ratio, though he did show some running ability. 11 carries for 82 yards. Where? Easton Stick. Well, looks like we got ourselves some lineups to make. Easton Stick mentioned 6 times. Duggan once. Joshua Kelly twice. Isaiah Spiller twice. Vanette once. Anderson once. Everett once. Parham once. Joshua Palmer twice. Quentin Johnston once. Alex Erickson once. Austin Eckler twice. So, of course, what are we looking at? Austin Eckler. Joshua Palmer. Possible Spiller. Possible Kelly. And, of course, we're looking at Stick. On the other side, 1 mention for Renfro, 1 for Mayer, 2 for Jacobs, 1 for Abdullah, 1 for O'Connell, 1 for White, 1 for Bolden. I have to get some water. I'll make some fucking lineups. You ever want to see how Faro comes up with commissions? Watch this shit. Knock this out. Come on. Good to see all you people like my shit. All right, good. If you have any left, I'll check if there's a Harley Banks available. Cool. Check for blanks. No. Order tomorrow. As for by 17, I was thinking something like Joker Can and Harley Barbie dolls in their casings. And creepy Christmas. Like, let me know what you think. Got a new Harley cover I'm working on, so. Always remember, brought to you by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Now, let's make it some lineups. Is my bulldog snoring in the background? Okay. Herbert is obviously not playing. So you couldn't get all these 5 guys in here. Anyway, so we're going to have to start over with Devontae Adams up top. Do it kind of a different way. Adams, Eckler, Allen, Jacobs, O'Connell, Stick. And that leaves us with a deficit of $17,800. Well, right off the bat, we want to keep Adams, right? Because he's in the captain's spot, so of course we're going to keep him there. Eckler. Saying we're going to ditch Allen and Jacobs, basically. But is O'Connell worth keeping? I mean, Keenan Allen, non-participant, estimated while there's a heel issue. Light walk-through session, remained a spectator of 1 opportunity. Talk about Joshua Palmer's back, right? They didn't talk about that in here. But what if we take out Allen for Joshua Palmer? We take out Josh Jacobs for Mike Mayer. And then we lose O'Connell. And we keep the stick. We get Zamir White, Donald Parham Jr., Jalen Guyton. All these people to pick from. Now, if Jacobs is fucked up, like they said he might be, limited participant. Walk-through sessions Monday and Tuesday. Begin the prep. He would have his reps manage the team, held traditional practices. Found he could end up taking a questionable designation. Zamia White. Twice for 8 yards. White logged his only 5 offensive snaps despite starter Josh Jacobs entering Sunday's contest in the fourth quarter. Fellow running back Amir Abdullah gained 19 yards on 3 touches across 15 snaps. Jacobs is unable to suit up Thursday against the Chargers due to the aforementioned. White could be next line to Hurley early down work out of the backfield while Abdullah providing relief in passing situations. You're not getting Abdullah here, so you just grab fucking White. I mean, he's the best of the shit down here. The only one I would even think of taking at the $200 level is Brandon fucking Bolden. We're in. We're in. Is that right? Is that right? Bang. Feel the bang. All right, that's Devontae Adams. Now, is there anything here we want to change? We could run a second Devontae Adams, which we have here. Instead of pulling stick, we're going to pull. Instead of pulling O'Connell, we're going to pull stick. So ditch Jacobs, ditch Allen. Herbert's out. Joshua Palmer is in. So now we'll keep O'Connell. We can't get stick, right? Adams, Palmer. You got O'Connell throwing it to him. Keep an Eckler, obviously. You go Johnston, you got 1,000 left for what? For Erickson. Everett. You get Tucker. Dicker. Guyton, that's not bad. Abdullah. When with Abdullah, what do you got? Still with Guyton. Carlson. Guyton. Chargers D. It really just keeps coming back to Guyton. Raiders D. Hunter Renfro. Spiller. Renfro. A Mayer we like. We're big Mayer fans. And again, Zamir White. So essentially, it's the same exact lineup, but instead of stick, it's O'Connell. So you're setting up Devontae Adams with the opposing quarterback, and you're setting Devontae Adams against his quarterback. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. All right. Now, some of those lineups, maybe you could switch out Palmer for Johnston. If you want to run the $1 variants there, I'm not really decided yet. We shall see. Now we got Eckler. Let's ditch out on Herbert. Let's ditch out on Jacobs. I want to take Keenan Allen out of these 20 lineups. Maybe the next ones I'll make will be with him in it. Let's get Stick in. O'Connell out. Giving us, essentially, some reason I'm liking Mike Mayer. Takes me up to Zamir White. So you see, we're pretty much getting a lot of the same core, and we're changing out the captains. Nothing wrong with that. I think I'm going to run 20 lineups. tomorrow, once I see what's going on, although I think we're just going to run them. I'm going to run them all with Johnston in instead of Palmer. So we get Herbert out, we get in Stick. So now we got Keenan Allen here at captain, so we can't change anything out there. We could lose Jacobs, and we could lose O'Connell. So Stick, Adams, Eckler, we got them all in there. You can ditch Adams here. Hmm. So you go down from Adams to what though? Jacoby Myers. You're the next man down. What do you end up with at 16 left there, Guyton? Keeps coming back to Guyton with Bolton. We come out of Myers and go with Palmer. But you got Keenan Allen already. Let's just say we go with Palmer. Say, fuck it. Call this a blowout game. Hunter Renfro in the garbage time. Oh boy, no, I like fucking Renfro, man. This is crazy enough to work. And we got Josh Jacobs at captain, so we can't pull him, but we can pull Herbert for the stick. Adams, Eckler, Allen, and O'Connell. Get rid of Allen. Get rid of O'Connell. So again, we get into this problem of too much garbage at the bottom here. So we're going to come in with Mayer for Adams. Adams is kind of having a disappointing season. Let's say we come down to Myers. 25 gets you what? Not a lot. Come out of Myers here. And again, we can work with Palmer. We're drawn to Palmer in this game. Don't ever explain why, you just do it. Which leaves us with either Abdullah to come in behind Jacobs or Carlson, the kicker, or even the Raiders D. I'm going to back up the captain running back. Yeah, let's see that. If Jacobs is the captain, which means he's scoring, which means Carlson's behind him or he's grinding. What did they do against the Chargers the last time they played? 4 points, but again, it's a backup quarterback. Abdullah. It's just limited or a quick turnaround. Hmm. So essentially, these are my triplets. I'm trying to get these triplets into every lineup. Captains underneath them. This really comes down to who do I want. You can't get Dicker. Mir Abdullah going with the backup running back there behind him. Two running backs in there. For Abdullah to come in and get the vulture a touchdown from behind him. That could work for me. All right, so we know what we're trying to do. We're trying to work in my new triplets. We're going to fade Keenan Allen in this particular batch of 20. Which means we got to drop Jacobs. Let's bring in old Mike Mayer. I'm going to drop Adams. For Dicker the kicker. Ooh, shit. No, you got Everett there too, though. I like Everett. Right. Now we got the stick. Let's get rid of Herbert for Palmer. So now I got my triplets. We're going to fade Allen. We're going to fade Jacobs, which means we can keep Devontae Adams. Let's bring in the tight end Everett. Another target of a stick. No, I want Mayer. Come out of. Ooh, Renfro again. Renfro. Hmm. Now you got Jacoby Myers here. Herbert out for stick. Allen out for Palmer. Who's got to go? Let's lose Jacobs for Mayer. Let's lose Adams for Everett. Who do we like here? Everett. Going like for like a mega shootout here. Perhaps we'll add all the kickers and all that shit after. Joshua Kelly a captain. Is it worth keeping? Is he worth keeping a captain? We're gonna lose Kelly. We're gonna bring in Stick, not Stick. This will be a Palmer lineup. We want Palmer at captain. We'll try a little bit something different here. Herbert for Stick. Let me try something here. What am I doing? Oh, hey, Palmer's right there on the next one. So good. Kelly is that high up? Wow. Why is Joshua Kelly that fucking high up? I don't like it. I'm not wasting a fucking lineup there. Throw Palmer in there again. Lose Allen and Jacobs and bring me in the defenses. Double defense. You got Palmer, Stick, Adams, Eckler, Chargers, and Raiders. I wanted a double defense team in there. This doesn't make sense. You don't do it just to do it. Hmm. We do one with Palmer. I mean, one with Everett, and one with the kicker. Because that one's driving me crazy. Herbert out. Stick in. Allen out. Dicker in. Jacobs out. Mayer. Now we got Quentin Johnston. Herbert out. for the stick. Allen out. Jacobs out. Give me Mayer. 71. Joshua fucking Kelly. That's driving me crazy. Just get Palmer back in there. We're looking for a big game out of Palmer. We're hoping Palmer comes in low owned. We're hoping all the idiots chase Keenan Allen. We're hoping that Keenan Allen has a shitty game. Did we not push this one? Oh, we did not. Forgot. That's two Palmer captains right there. Now we got Everett. So again, give him his QB. Allen. There's Jacobs. Mike Mayer is in. Palmer. See the core that we're building here. James Bond here. All right. So Dicker the kicker. Give him the stick. Pull Allen. Put Jacobs for Mike Mayer and Joshua Palmer. All right. Amir Abdullah. The only reason I would consider him a captain is that if Jacobs doesn't play. So again, we take out Herbert for the stick. We take out Allen and Jacobs for Mike Mayer. For 8 Gs, what can we get? Really just keeps coming back down there, doesn't it? So we just keep taking Palmer. All right. Daniel Carlson. Let's go with Mr. Herbert. Out from Mr. Stick. Lose Allen. Lose Jacobs. 4. Mike Mayer. 83 left. Can we get up? We can't get Jacoby Myers just yet. So we keep going back to Monsieur Palmer. Chargers D, so automatically we'll want Dicker in there. We always like to combo the defense and the kicker. So right off the bat, Allen is out. Let's get Dicker in there. And we could lose Jacobs for Palmer. Boom. So this one we don't really need Easton Stick. So we're going to go right to Carlson. We're going to lose Allen and Jacobs for Palmer and O'Connell. Hunter Renfro. Herbert is out. The stick is in. Allen Jacobs out. Mayer with 92 left. What do we get? Myers. I see Palmer still. Leave the 3 Gs on the table. Filler, I don't see it. So I'm going to do an Eckler and 5 Raider lineup here. Get your ass in there, Ikla. First, get O'Connell. You already got Adams. Give me Raiders D. Give me Mike Mayer. And give me Daniel Carlson. Oh, Everett's tempting. Nope, combo it up. And finally, Mike Mayer. So we got the stick. We're going to lose Allen. Already got Mike Mayer in there. So let's give Mayer. Well, let's put Palmer in there first off. So we can't get Mayer as quarterback. I don't think we need to. I don't think most even O'Connell just ain't doing it. But for 74 left. We want to get O'Connell in there and then lose Adams for Jacoby Myers.